You're listening to everybody's favorite GI Joe podcast, GI Joburg. And in episode 211, we ask the toys we wish for.
That's what we're asking.
My name
everyone?
is Steve. And the two gentlemen that you've heard chime in, you know them by now. It's Paul Deadly Pencils and Rob Scoop Robbie Rob. Hello, gentlemen.
Hey,
Scoop,
Rob,
Robbie,
Scoop, Scooby-Doo, coming in hot to get down. We're gonna get down on this wish list. Are we?
For shizzle. For toy nizzle.
Hello, gentlemen. Another week has passed, and I'm feeling sprightly in spite of the fact that I was up at 6 a.m. to do another show.
I can't believe it. You're so popular. You're on like all the shows.
Hey, man. All this could be yours too, Rob. You just need to, I don't know, unbury that head from the sand from time to time. They love you. They want you. Oh, baby. Oh,
So
baby.
warm in there.
Paul, how's the new house? How's life with Celia?
It is
How's
great.
life of having to make your own meals?
Oh, I love it, dude. I love it. I eat like such a child. But no, man, it's awesome. It's awesome. I'm actually really digging it. We are really digging it. And we've managed to get through, or almost get through the first month without any incident. And when I say incident, I'm touching wood, of course. I mean, like, you know, none of these sort of...
Paul, honestly, it sounds like there is no furniture in the room that you're broadcasting from.
I know, right? And I actually, thank you. You just actually reminded me. I want to try this quickly.
I need to get my furniture.
Yeah. No, I've got this wooden desk that everything is on at the moment. It's not my normal desk because I haven't moved that out of my former home. I haven't
Paul
brought that
is
here
so
yet.
zen that he doesn't even notice when he's just sitting, cross-legged on the floor for like a month because he's just so used to doing that.
Until I have to
He's
stand
like,
up.
I don't have any furniture.
Yeah, guys, have you ever taken a lotus position for so long that when you stand up, you immediately plop right back down?
Yeah.
Yes. And you
No,
can little
shit.
bit in splits for an hour. Don't do
What?
that. Yeah.
You're that flexy? Paul.
I don't think
my
I've
God.
ever managed to do
I
the
didn't go
splits.
full splits, but as I'll share something with
Never
you
go
guys. As
full
part of
splits.
as one of the parts of our kung fu grading for my green sash, which was about 3 months long, we were put into splits for an hour, and it's actually a mental test. It's not so much a flexibility thing. It's going to hurt like shit, and it does after about 15 minutes. Yeah, everybody's telling stupid jokes, and you've got tears in your eyes, and it's not nice. Well, actually,
Did
I'd say about
anyone
20 minutes.
reference the Green Ranger?
Yeah, but there were lots of Chuck Norris jokes at that point, so yeah, it was intense, and some trivia.
You talking about your table reminds me of a little segment that we once used to play, which is what toy do you have right in front of you?
Oh,
Hey, Rob, what's on your
should
table?
we have a round of that quickly? Actually,
What is on my table? There's nothing on the table, but just above the table is the hurricane. So it's just staring me in the face. Guns ready. That's right in front of me. You can
Here
start
I
in
am,
a second.
walking
Yeah,
like
Steven's
a
rocking.
hurricane.
Rob is rocking his hurricane on his desk. I have got. There are two that I don't want to mention because they're secret. I have got Grimlock from '86.
Oh, what did you get
I
for
have-
us, Paul? What did you get for us?
And you're going to find out soon. I got Leonardo and Raphael from Super 7 on my desk. I've got a very cool Schleich Tiger, which is GI Joe scale, not classified scale. It's really awesome.
Whoa.
I've got a Ninja Force Dojo. I have got Topside, and I've got two torches, the one that I'm busy painting and repairing, and my regular one. Little Kingdom Transformers Optimus Prime. I've got Storm Shadow, of course. He's always here with me. And those are all the toys on my desk currently. So I don't know what that says to everybody about my desk right now. But
You know, when you said a Ninja Force Dojo, it just occurred to me that his name has that like ambivalence to it. That it sounded like you might have been talking about a playset. Like,
yeah.
I've got the Ninja Force Dojo in front of me. Like, no, he's actually a guy, but his name is a place.
Dojo.
It's a person.
Of course, we didn't care as kids, but like now that I think about it, like a dojo is
Oh no, that
martial
always
arts
irritated
studio.
me as a kid, dude.
Oh, did it?
Like,
Uh,
because that
Mr.
was
martial
in
artist over
my
here.
that was in my lexicon. Like the word dojo was there. It was in my. I mean, I've known that word since I was 5. So
Well,
like,
staring at me on my desk, most specifically right on my laptop. In fact, it's just below where your avatar is, Rob, is the 1983 swivel arm version 1.5 Snake Eyes.
Hey, got him.
Got
Got
him.
him.
Got
Second
him.
time
And
around.
second time around, worth all the drama. This is a very nice Snake Eyes. And when I say very nice Snake Eyes, I don't mean mint, like dead mint, like straight off the bubble. This is clearly someone's childhood Snake Eyes that they actually treasured enough to get like several loose joints. But I did a very like uninvasive fix to his knees because
oh, cool.
because the lower legs are basically the same sculpt. There's not a left and a right. I swapped them around, and that has stiffened them up. Because I think the interactions between the plastic on the insides, or sorry, the peg sides of the lower legs, obviously kind of make things smoother over time and after
That's so clever.
being worn. So you swap them around, and all of a sudden you've got interactions between two plastic surfaces that have never had any kind of contact. So,
Damn.
bam,
Dude.
done. Stiff knees once again. And yeah, no, this figure has such great mystique. But you can hear my rantings about it, or ravings about it, I should say, in a forthcoming review. Hopefully, I'll get it right this week. But I have been shooting finally. The third part of the Renegades story.
Yes, I've seen some of that.
Working
I just haven't been able to
title.
comment on it.
Why is that? Facebook Messenger
Yeah.
broken?
No, well, a little bit of that, but yeah, I, for some reason it's not downloading the videos. It's not letting me watch them properly. So I'm gonna try again just now. But yeah.
Well, the working title is Reckonings. I think, the scope of this one, just in terms of like the location shifts. I used to be able to shoot a webisode in one place. Now it's like every scene requires a location change, which is just grinding the whole proceedings down. Of course, I can only shoot like one scene a week, trying to juggle that and the kid. But anyways, I don't want to harp on that too much. Snake Eyes is great. Hopefully I can get the review out the door sooner rather than later. And that's me for new shit. I'm loving this new toy, man. Or old toy.
Damn, dude.
So that's like what's on your desk and your new shit. Cool.
You said it, baby. What's yours?
Robbie, did you get anything new, dude? Did you get any new toys?
No, I don't have nothing news up here in South Africa. I don't know.
I'm sorry, dude.
There's
Well, that's
nothing
why
to
we
check.
have the topic. What you watching? What you
Oh,
reading?
shit.
What
Steven.
you playing?
Before we get there,
Stephen
can I mention something cool that's new?
No. Okay.
Fine,
I'll
fine.
relent.
So, like, this whole house move thing has been quite nuts. Okay, let me just say that because obviously I'm still moving bits of my studio here into the new place, bit by bit, or piecemeal, should I say, and I'm being very selective and choosy about the toys that come here. It just also so happens that a lot of my pre-orders and, should I say, the shipping for some toys has just sort of decided it's going to all happen now. Okay, so I've had to, and some of them are still going to my folks' place. So so I went to go and pick up a very cool little item that arrived on Friday the 13th, which will be in the video that I'll release after our recording here. So it should actually be up before the show is up, which is cool. That's one toy that came in that I'm very excited about and really blew me away. And I don't want to spoil it on the podcast, but yeah, let me just say now it's super cool. And Celia and I just went this morning to go and do some quick little grocery shopping. And I also just needed to get out of the house to a mall or something because I was just getting a bit of cabin fever, in all honesty, because August has also been an insane month work-wise. To fill you guys in, I'm the lead artist on an animation series. So I'm doing all the character designs and I'm the lead on the Viz Dev. So I'm maintaining a lot of that on top of my regular stuff that I do as well, which is also for quite a high-key South African client. So I've just been extremely swamped with stuff. So anyway, I managed to actually get out this morning and I went to my local toy store. And this has been on my mind a lot. So when I saw it, I was like, it's going to happen. And I bought a Transformers, the movie, the 86 studio series, Hot Rod. Yay! And it's still actually in the box as we're talking. Like, I haven't opened it. I haven't had a chance to open it because I literally arrived here and started setting up everything for the show. But I'm very excited about this toy.
You don't want to open it live on the podcast.
I would love to. It's just a bit dark in here. And I think we have such a cool topic today with so much that has to be mentioned. I don't want to focus too much on my hot rod experience. I think, so there's that. But then, so that's the one new thing that happened. I suspect I mentioned Roboto last weekend on our episode.
No, Ram Man got a mention. I don't know if
Ram Man. Oh yeah, that's right. Because Roboto arrived on Tuesday, actually. Yeah, I got Roboto from He-Man. He's very cool, man. This is a He-Man toy that when I was a kid I always wanted. Like all my friends or friends' cousins or whatever always had this guy, and I was like, I just love that like little gear thing in its chest, and that was so cool because it arrived from Amazon. And yeah, he's a cool toy, man. He's like the bat of He-Man, but he's a good guy. So
does the mouthpiece shift up and down?
Yes, it does. So when you move, when you do this, there it is.
Imagine that.
But yeah, so I got
do whatever that is.
He-Man the Origins Roboto, which is very cool. And I think just while I've got the mic, I just want to wish a happy birthday to Mr. Andrew Creech. It was your birthday on the 13th, if memory serves. And you've been a long time fan and viewer of the show, and I just thought I'd just shout out a happy birthday because he's also a He-Man guy. He's also been
and contributed to the show as well. He's been
in
on
a big way,
podcast and our Element X video. And I mean, there are toys in all three of our possessions.
He has supplied cast members. That's correct.
Exactly right. So HBD, AMC DJ, ACDC. I got there eventually.
Happy birthday, dude.
And that's me for new stuff, man. That's me for all the new shit. Whoa, look at the chats. They're crazy.
I kind of got ahead of myself when I said Snake Eyes was my only bit of new shit. This will be new shit and perhaps a little bit of community. I received a little package from the boys of the Order of Battle Pod. And they sent me this beauty. It's a t-shirt.
Oh yeah!
Oh, the video. The kid.
Yeah.
Nice.
It's the GI Alexander t-shirt that Order of Battle Pod put out for Joe Fest 2021, and Alexander said, "Send an extra one Steve's way, please, Dad." And I was only too thrilled to not only wear that, but parade around with Elliot, who doesn't really care for Daddy's t-shirt, but he will in time. Maybe one day I'll put my kid's face on a t-shirt. Wouldn't that be neat? So thank you, Order of Battle Pod. Not only did they send the t-shirt, and it has a great fit, I might add, and that's not just me bigging up my very svelty torso. Cringe. But they sent me some great swag, like Order of Battle stickers and GI Alexander stickers. I feel like I'm swagged up. So once again, thank you, Order of Battle Pod. Love you guys. Love your work. Thank you. You're fast becoming GI Joe community leaders. Yeah. So community, awesome. Let's get back to that question I asked earlier. Rob, buddy, what are you reading, watching, playing? What's new in the media for you?
New stuff. I'm trying to think if I did watch anything new this week. I think I watched the latest episode of Rick and Morty, and I thought that was pretty damn good. Actually, no, I don't think it was this one. It was the Okay, no, I haven't watched it this week yet. Darn. Okay, that's not new.
Darn. Have you watched the new Evangelion?
I haven't watched any of the new movies because I think he was kind of like re-releasing them to kind of like retell the story in like a better way. I don't want
to say what it is, but
again, I haven't watched it yet. I don't think I've watched anything new this week. I started rewatching Arrow from the start, so I was like, it's It's as good as I remember it, which is quite refreshing if I compare it to like any of the other shows that are still going right now. I mean, I think
the CW
they kind
stuff,
of they tend to degenerate after a while into like just there's no action, there's no like it's just interpersonal drama, and it's like we're superheroes, we should be doing stuff. And in that first season of Arrow, he's just so focused, like I got to clean up the city. My father died. He passed on this, he told me a deep, dark secret of his, and now I got to set things right, my father's memory. And it's a powerful start to a show, I think. And yeah, it's kind of cool to rewatch it again. So yeah, I'm rewatching Arrow.
Nice, dude. Listen,
Probably
I got
only
a lot
the
of
first
fun out of
couple
the
seasons. Yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna say I got a lot of fun out of the first 3, maybe 4 seasons of that show. Definitely.
Yeah,
it's a cool show, actually.
Until everyone became superheroes and like it became overly convoluted and stuff like that.
Hey,
Rob, I think you made the mistake of maybe showing me the CW, like DC shows like Flash, alongside the Netflix Daredevil series. I was like, oh no, Daredevil is so much more my jam.
Yeah, because it's more mature, it's like it's less like focused on just like I mean there's a little bit of it in the earlier seasons where there's a bit of drama between characters, but like it's more focused on him kind of like dealing out justice. But yeah, Daredevil is much better than anything on CW. So
hey, quick on the topic of Arrow, quickly, just what is your opinion on Black Canary in Arrow?
I suppose it's kind of like a roundabout way of getting around to having her be the character. I think they've struggled to kind of find a place for her, because it's like just suddenly now she's Black Canary.
I must be honest with you, dude. If there's one character in that show that absolutely grates me, it's her. And I love Black Canary, so I think that actually adds salt to the wound. Because I like the character.
I think it's not the same version that you know in the comic books. They try to fit her in there in a certain way until they realize, we could actually add more heroes to this thing. More people could know his secret and be heroes, and so they kind of like then forced her into that mold, and it just doesn't work.
I just also find that actress unbearably annoying personally. Like I don't know what it is about her. She drives me crazy.
Spoilers for a show that came out many years ago. Her character does eventually die. So
I know, and it's a highlight for me.
Anybody catch What If Peggy Carter had become Captain America?
No, not yet. We only get Disney Plus, I believe, next year winter. So it's going to be one. At least officially.
If you want to pay for it. Look, there are ways around it. In fact, I know that there's I wish I could remember the name of it, but apparently there's a perfectly legal way of watching Disney Plus in South Africa.
Okay, I will try and find that out. But I mean, I have friends who will help me watch it.
On that topic, I just would like to mention that I have tried every legal on the topic of Disney Plus. I have tried every legal route I can to watch Disney Plus, like without being some kind of pirate. And unfortunately, none of them have panned out. I've done the VPN thing. I have tried to get vouchers for it to buy a Disney Plus voucher to be able to watch it combined with the VPN. Did not work. Disney has literally decided that in order for me to enjoy their stuff, I've had to be a criminal. Well, I don't want to say criminal.
Wait until next year winter. Apparently, it's coming.
Oh yes, no, I'll wait until next year winter when everybody spoiled the freaking Mandalorian for me and Loki and the Winter Soldier, the Falcon and the Winter Soldier. That. I must admit, I thoroughly enjoyed Loki. I know a lot of people didn't. I enjoyed it, and I thought it was cool, and I'm glad that I watched it when I did, and because it really just put me into things. It was cool. So yeah. Anyway, I've been watching some stuff as well.
What If?
Yeah.
I'm not going to spoil What If.
All right.
No, I'm not going to spoil What If, but I just wanted to, I was doing some thinking about it the other day, and one thought in particular kind of bubbled to the surface, and that's the fact that, nowhere else in history have we had a media juggernaut so big and so replete with stories and continuities that we can now, within its own cinematic continuity, like go on these tangential what if scenarios. I know Marvel Comics could do it, and certainly DC did a similar thing back in the day, referencing, like a Stan Lee, Jack Kirby story from the 1960s that every comic book nerd would know. So, like in the 80s, you can now kind of do a what if title, kind of branching that timeline. But like that's incorporating like 50 years of comic book writing. Okay, my math was a bit out. What I'm trying to say is, like, this is an entirely encapsulated cinematic universe that can now, like, create these what if scenarios. It's totally unprecedented. That there to be such a rich tapestry of, like, established canon that the world has consumed. Okay, not just relegated to people that are avid comic book readers, but the world of cinema goers. That they can now market a TV show that tells like this sort of "and then I woke up" scenarios. It's just mind-blowing. Anyway,
it's crazy. Like, reached everyone. Yeah, I think that is crazy. I mean, you can tell what if stories within your own cinematic universe,
and it's got enough like leverage to do so. Yeah, like that's actually very true, Steve. I didn't even think about it that way. Nice.
So I don't know if we'll likely ever see something like this ever again. To commission a TV show that actually sort of tells these like pipe dream style scenarios.
I suppose the irony of it, in a lot of ways as well, is that a lot of the TV versions of comic book characters are kind of what if scenarios as well, to be fair, in some respects. I mean, I know DC sort of tried it with Legends, which I don't know. A lot of people enjoy that show, but I'm not one of them. But anyway, yeah, like you make a cool point there. I mean, but what I'm interested in, and I'm just surprised nobody's mentioned it yet. Have you guys checked out the new Suicide Squad yet?
Oh yeah, I've seen it. I thought it was brilliant. It was absolutely hilarious.
Me too, man. It's like I had so much fun watching that movie because like I did it. It was my little reward thing. So like after my literally, I started on Friday and finished on Monday evening with this proposal document and a booklet that I was working on. And after that, I had made Suicide Squad like my dessert. That was like the thing I wanted to watch with Celia, so that her and I at least had some quality time together. And that was like my light at the end of the tunnel. And I watched it, and her and I just killed over laughing. It was just so much fun. It was such an enjoyable film experience. And I really think that DC, like, it's kind of going in a funny, well, not in a funny direction, but I kind of feel like DC should just embrace that their characters that are doing really well right now are all assholes, and they should just go with that. They should just be like, instead of trying to make like heroes their big thing, they should just go with the Suicide Squad and just expand on that. That to me is just like maybe the direction they should go. They should just go with that.
Yeah, just go with the asshole characters, the pricks, essentially. Yeah. They can do good shit within the stories, but like, I think that's true.
It was just so good. Sorry.
It was hilarious. And I only realized when I looked up some things about the movie, but I didn't realize Sylvester Stallone was Killer Shark.
No. I didn't know that either.
He did the voice for Killer Shark.
For King Shark, yeah.
For King Shark, yeah.
Yeah, dude, that's freaking great.
Now you have a reason to watch it to hear him, do those lines.
And the cool thing is, like, if you've got HBO Max, which we will have in South Africa in about a month or two's time, you can then watch it officially, and you can watch it in cinemas now, which is great. And I think a part of me wants to go and watch it in cinema, but I want to watch Snake Eyes first.
Yeah, same.
Because I don't want to. I've actually, like, with Celia and I, we've like decided Snake Eyes is going to be our first movie that we watch in cinema. So that's like kind of why I'm being strict. But I loved that. And then just hot on the heels of that, on Friday I was also just like, I needed to just decompress, and I watched the last rebuild of Evangelion, which was the 3.1 or 1.0 plus 3.0, whatever. Anyway, it's the fourth one.
Sounds about
right.
Like
7 or 8 years for the damn thing to come out, and I felt fulfilled by it. I felt that it hit all of the notes I needed it to hit. It explained some things really well, at least to me. And I'm an Evangelion fan, so maybe I just picked up on notes that were maybe designed for the fan base. But it was an enjoyable film. It's crazy. It's completely out there. It's totally Evangelion. And if you guys haven't checked it out and you are fans of Evangelion, or you're like, oh, what is this Evangelion thing? Then I implore you to please go and watch the original series. It is available on Netflix, and watch the death and rebirth of Evangelion. I mean, the end of Evangelion movie, and then watch the Rebuild series, which is now available on Amazon. That's 1, 2, 3, and now 4. Thank God. And I'm sure you'll get something really epic out of it because, wow, I love the shit out of it. So anyway, cool. So that's what I was watching. Sorry, I know that I kind of snuck in there.
Well, you've watched a lot more stuff than I did. I actually forgot I'd watched the Suicide Squad this week. It's been a long week.
It has. It's just been a long week. But a lot of people I know have had a hectic week. It's just been one of those things.
Yeah.
So I'm just glad. I just needed to decompress, man. I needed to be away from a computer screen.
Gotta get out of it. Gotta get out.
Yeah.
So, Stephen,
Gentlemen, it's time. We put this
we
topic
need to know.
out
All right.
we do need to know
What you've been watching.
everyone's top 5 wish list items are. Oh, yes. We put the question out to the community at large on Twitter, on Facebook, on Insta, on YouTube. And we got some very warm responses. In fact, so warm, they might take up the bulk of this podcast if we let them. So we're probably going to have to hack it down a little bit and be brutally quick. But break out the pens and pencils, guys, because these are some terrific suggestions. So if you're looking for things to buy, why not just poach them from someone else? There was concern that a topic like this would drive up eBay prices, but there's something so lovely about getting in touch with what it is that you are most actively pursuing, A, or B, what you wish was in existence to pursue. It's something that our friends from Podcast from the Pit like to do. They always talk about their top 10 and which items they've knocked off their top 10, which items remain, and how their top 10 is shifting over time. Paul, I'm pretty sure you have a top 10, 20, 30, 40, 50.
Oh, it's actually going to surprise you, dude. Yeah.
Oh, gee.
I've only got 4.
Whoa.
I know.
40.
Cheers, Gary. From the chat.
Bye-bye, Gary.
Cheers, Gary.
Just did. Have a good afternoon or good day.
Morning.
Times. Oh,
All right. So, gents, how best to break this down? I think I'm going to take YouTube. Paul's going to take Facebook and Patreon. Rob, you've got the Insta. And no, I've got Insta. You got Twitter.
I got Twitter.
So I think Twitter's not too lengthy. Let's knock those boys out first.
Okay, let's knock them out. Okay, cool. So there's some really good ones. Okay, so first up, quite straightforward. Mithridates says anything in 1 to 18 scale. I have to agree. Anything at that scale that's good, it would be fantastic. Chris from Otherverse Games, his number 1, classified in 3 3/4 inch bats. That's what he wants. He wants small vehicles for the 1 to 18 scale line, a trouble bubble, a ram, motorcycle, all of those things. He also wants a classified Serpentor and air chariot, a classified Jinx, both unmasked and blindfold version heads for the classified Jinx, as well as toys on the shelves and an end to scalpers and bots. That is a good suggestion. Casey from Podcast from the Pit wants number 5, classified. These are all classified, by the way, all of his. He wants hardball, hit and run, shipwreck, airborne, and the tomahawk.
Whoa, hardball getting some love. Cool.
I was about to say, and first up, no less. First up to bat.
Come down.
I take it that was a childhood fave that to this day it still doesn't get enough love. Good old hardball.
It must be. You know, I think some people just absolutely love that guy. William Mitchner, PhD student, by the way. He would like an Action Force Roboskull with driver, an Action Force Skeletron, a Cobra Terradrome, a Mint G1 Power Master Optimus Prime, and a Cobra Bug Mint and Complete.
So Rob, you almost have one of the items on that list. You've got a
I almost
reissue
have one of them.
Power Master.
So close. Sorry,
Close.
Julian.
Forgive me here, but is the Power Master the same as God Ginrai?
No, Power Master is God Ginrai without the God Bomber armor.
Yes.
So without the chrome trailer.
All the
trailer.
cool extra bits. I
Okay,
got that
without the
and everything
base
else.
thing, and okay, cool, okay. Because like, just a side note there, like I can say, dude, those are all worthwhile pursuits. I thankfully and I have a Terradrome, and a lot of people know that, but it's one of the coolest toys I have in my collection. And
The Terradrome, I think, made more appearances than the USS Flag. If I'm not mistaken, I'm going to sort of wildly put it out there that as I scanned these responses, I think the Terradrome is leading the Holy Grails.
Because the Terradrome
cool.
is better, says Hans. Because it's
and
better.
I grew up, and I grew up with that. With I have the God Ginrai version of that Optimus, which is basically the same thing. Just I have the trailer.
It's got extra bits, William. Look for God Ginrai Optimus Prime, and promise you're going to change the choice.
And that was a cool toy. And if anything could make it better, it would be that its legs could move independently from each other. That would be absolute magic. Anyway, but yes,
you missed the point of G1 then, my friend.
You don't get it. You don't understand.
You just
maybe
don't get it.
Range Viper will take your...
That's it.
Posing is a waste of time.
It's a complete waste of time.
You want those transformers to just stand and do battle.
Exactly. And transform. They have to transform.
No,
Next up,
them to move. I want them to move.
from Twitter is Range Viper. Something from the future he would like is a good video game. Currently, from what's currently available, he would like a classified Range Viper and a Battle Armor Cobra Commander. And from the vintage line, he would love to get a Night Raven and a Condor.
Oof. You won't be sad when you get them, dude. They're great.
Vilix Mortis says, oh, this is easy. So their top 5, class of 1983, 1984, 1985, 1986, 1987. That's their top 5. That's what they want.
Outstanding.
That's
I think
fantastic.
that busts past 5, but okay, fair enough.
That's way past 5. The GI Joe repair shop is looking for a GI Joe space shuttle original, never had as a child. GI Joe battle platform original, rebuild childhood collection. Cobra hydrofoil original, rebuild childhood collection. Number 4 would be Cobra Castle Future, a 3 3/4 inch scale would be amazing to get one of those, as well as Thomas and Zammert from the classified line. So if they can make that for classified, he would eat them up. Next up, we have Dr. Kiddens would love Cobra Troopers, Snow Vipers, Green Shirts, an updated Wild Bill, Quick Kick, but enough clothes to be allowed into 7-Eleven.
that actually feeds into another wishlist item. I'll probably get around to it myself. Quick Kick in his Barovian infiltration mission get up from the comics.
That'd be cool.
Sort of the black knit cap and sweater. I think that was actually Magnus's. Shout out Magnus Lauglo, whose Silent Castle was recognized by the man himself, Larry Harmer. Yes.
Oh, for reals?
Yes.
That's awesome. Damn. He's like, build me one of those, please.
And it was so cool
Need it.
because it's like we've
For my
all met
dogs.
Larry Harmer.
Hell yeah,
we've all met Larry Harmer here in this podcast, which is like, pretty like something.
That's mind blowing.
But we all but we know Magnus.
You know Magnus. You know the guy who built the Silent Castle.
I know that guy. We had pizza.
Next up, we have Scott Brown, who would like a 1:18 scale HasLab quality Cobra transport helicopter and detachable cargo pod that's big enough to airlift a hiss. Hell yeah. An O-ring style Street Fighter Cami, a classified Dusty, a retro collection Sunbow Colors Flint, all new parts would be fantastic, he says, and a new modern Wolverine with blonde cover girl. And he goes on to say, actually, classified is kind of separate in his brain, so he has 4 more classified. Soul Viper, Red Star, Sigma 6, Lieutenant Stone, and Iron Claw.
So where do you guys sit on Sunbow versus action figure release Flint? Do you like your Flint with black shirt, or do you like it with a more cartoon accurate What is it? Brown? Was it green? What was your shirt?
Wow. I'm guessing where you stand, Stephen.
I personally really
toys.
love my. Yeah, sorry, Rob. Yeah, go for it.
No, I was just going to say toys. I just wanted to quickly shove that in there before you started.
Oh no, I like the Flint toy that I have. Must be honest. I like the Tiger Force version and my regular vintage version. I've never felt like the cartoon colors were missing in that release, but now he's got me thinking.
Maybe that's something you want.
Yeah,
Color your
maybe.
own
But
one
hey,
again.
Super 7 is at least there to give us a big scale version of that. So
Well, there you go. Now we just need to miniaturize it. Easy. Serpental's Lair would like a reissue 25th Water Moccasin in the new retro line, a classified Shipwreck, a classified Crimson Guard, a classified Serpental, and a reissue 25th Firebat in the new retro line.
yeah, that's cool.
Just adding some vehicles to the retro line. That's kind of cool.
Yeah, and I mean that sculpting exists. That tooling exists.
Of course. I mean, you could probably still find the 25th anniversary version, but I guess they're not going cheap. Whereas the retro line is making things affordable again. Certainly that retro Hiss and Ore Striker, and now the Hiss 3. Yeah, okay, I get behind that.
Heck yeah, dude. And the last two, at least from Twitter, Josh Condit just wants the aircraft carrier. That's it. That's all he wants. He wants the aircraft carrier. Give it to him, and he'll be happy.
Get that
Very
man a
easy.
flag, damn it.
And last but not least, Uncle Dion would love classified dreadnoughts. Paul, you get behind that? Do you want that?
Yeah, I can get behind that big time.
Heck yeah.
I
dude.
imagine it's just the Holy Trilogy. Trinity.
Trilogy. Yeah.
Buzzer, Ripper, Torch. I mean, if you could get beyond that, but like I think that would then be an entire wave of classified.
Oh wait,
Why
I have
not?
one more. I remembered you can check quote tweets
Okay.
on Twitter. So last is Dendo Star. He would like a Defiant Space Shuttle Complex, an army of some form of Ara Cobra Troopers, Battle Core Shipwreck, Ara Good Guy Storm Shadow, either version is cool, and a couple of Ara Hiss M2s. I remembered quote tweets.
Nice. All right, gentlemen. On YouTube, we have Amps Thunderhounds. He wants classified Snake Eyes and Timber 2-pack, which, yeah, get it, baby, get it. Masterpiece Soundwave, oof, good luck. Rob, you're not parting with yours anytime soon, are you?
Nah, it's not going.
I get first dibs.
The Spawn Alley playset. What? I haven't thought about that since I was 13 years old.
We're going
Amazing.
back now.
Is that from the movie?
I think so, yeah.
No,
Wasn't
that
it?
was part of the original line. No, when they did the first wave of Spawn. They
Wicked,
did his vehicle, they did his car, and then they did the Spawn Alley playset. That's like
I guess
that's one of the
maybe
still
Amps
top
is
toys.
wanting to build a diorama. But I mean,
That's
surely,
deep cut.
like, there are so many Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles toys that could fill that purpose. Like, there's so many, like,
Sadly
alleys
not.
and sewers, sewer playsets and stuff like that. Anyways, he
No,
wants...
surprisingly not, actually, except for that really awesome one.
Bro, every single iteration of the Turtles has a sewer lair playset.
At
just
least
Google
one.
it. At least. Some of them have like sewer lair playsets at different scales. Well, not scales, sizes. Like you got the one that you assemble and it's basically like a doll's house in height. And then you got like the little compact ones, little carry cases, stuff like that. Anyways, he would love a Motu Origin Stinkcore. Does that actually have a stink feature?
Yes,
I believe
does.
it did stink, yeah.
No,
Yeah.
the Origins, the re-release.
Yes,
the new one.
apparently it will. Yeah.
Oh my
What?
word. And Reveltech, okay, I don't know this word, Angurius?
I think I
Robert
know what you're
H
talking
says, a classified lifeline once it gets made. A GI Joe scale human Rodimus Prime. I take it from that episode where the Transformers become humans. Yeah. Then a GI Joe scale human RC. Nice.
Oh, for a little clarity before we move too far away from Anguirus, Anguirus was a Godzilla villain.
about. And yes.
Thank you.
Yes,
All right.
so he's like a big guy with like spiky armor on his back and like horns.
Okay, so the Reveltech version of that. Nice.
Yes.
Cool.
Hey, Hans
Classified
knows.
Breaker with the Ram. Transformers Energon Snowcat because he turns into a GI Joe Snowcat and has skis in robot mode. Robert H.
That is a cool toy.
If I had my collection to hand, buddy, I could send that your way. I mean, I've got one.
You can send him pictures of it.
GI Dojo, hello, brother. He would love to have the GI Joe Nurse Action. No, the GI Nurse Action Girl vintage 60s era. Whoa, I can only imagine that fetches a pretty penny nowadays. The Kenner Police Academy, the Precinct Police Station playset. Don't see much of this playset online, so hence it must be a pretty rare item. In addition to being something cool for you to put your law and I don't know who else would occupy a police precinct. Probably Mutton Junkyard, maybe.
Mutton Junkyard, yeah.
The Filmation Ghostbusters Ghost Command playset. Nice. Wow.
Man after my own heart here. Playset.
Haven't thought about that in a while. That's the one with Tracy the ape and the car with the face in it.
Yes.
Amazing. Okay. The Playmates Dick Tracy the blank action figure. Now, was this a rare figure back in the day as well? Okay.
Yes. Yeah, it's like there's like a whole thing and it's a spoiler and everything. So yeah.
Yes, they covered up the face, right. And then the G.I. Joe Sky Striker for his flag. Yes. A flag is just a parking bay if you don't have a Sky Striker. It's just a big old asphalt strip. Derek Lerner says Verona / Dana. Very good. Presumably the 3 3/4, sort of a retro version of her. Retro Storm Shadow, Retro Baroness, 25th anniversary. Oh no, wait, Verona Dana. They did do it. The convention exclusive. That one. That's probably what you're talking about. Okay, cool. So it is an existing toy. Sorry, sometimes I have to decide whether or not these are fantasy picks or actual existing toys. Yes. So yes, the club did do a Dana called a Verona. Long story. Retro Baroness, 25th anniversary Flint, 25th Zartan with Swamp Skier. Now that 25th Zartan with the Swamp Skier is like, it's a kiddie cart. It's diminutive.
Yeah.
But that is a very good version of Zartan. So
damn right. It was one of my first.
Snap it up when you can. And
that was one of my first 21st. Sorry.
Yeah. It made very good use of that gung ho torso. Yeah, no, I like that. Very, very Sunbow-y. Thousand Wolves wants the classified Silver Mirage motorcycle. So this is a fantasy pick. Maybe he'll make do with a respray on the Ram. We know we're gonna get it, right?
Or that ninja cycle from Flame
They
Toys.
will do it.
Yeah. Retro classified version 2 Snake Eyes with white timber. Okay. A retro classified version 2 Snake. These are two different things. I wonder what he means. Is it retro collection or is it classified? I'm going to assume he's talking about the retro collection version 2 Snake Eyes, i.e. visor Snake Eyes with a timber that's kind of in a more Arctic scheme. Nice.
Well, that's like what a $12 can of Rust-Oleum and a little blue tack on the eyes, and you can have a white timber. Sorry, I know it sounded like Bart there, but like
classified Viper 2-pack. Oh man, all the army builders and anyone who wants to get maybe 2 Vipers in their lives is applauding very loudly at this point. That would be a great idea. Classified Crimson Guard 2-pack. Hey, this is starting to exceed the 5 limit number. No, I'm kidding.
Stop talking.
And then classified Steel Battalion Trooper. Yes, that's what they now call the Steel Brigade. But yes, of course, Bobby Valor owns Steel Battalion in name. Or sorry, Bobby Valor owns Steel Brigade in name, but he still can't make that helmet. He can make an approximation of it, but he can't do the iconic design. If Hasbro could turn around and just give us the damn Steel Brigade, well, I wonder how that would affect Action Force sales, and could these things coexist? Probably yes, but I can imagine that an actual Steel Brigade in the classified collection would sell like hotcakes. Finally, everyone's chance to be in GI Joe, just a little bit taller. Then D. Mathias from Brazil says, here's my list of the GI Joe Rolling Operations Command Center. Sorry, Matthias, I have one, and I'm not about to part with it. He'd like the vintage Night Raven, ditto. Cover Girl, the GI Joe Collectors Club exclusive. Big Ben, the Collectors Club exclusive. So these are modern era styles. Falcon Estrella version. Wow, an exclusive from 2019. Not familiar with that at all. Maybe I can find a picture. But yes, Falcon is Estrella's 12-inch GI Joe / adventure team in Brazil, produced by license since 2018. If I'm not mistaken, Estrella is producing it again, but I couldn't buy this one. And then a teary face. Mad Supernova says new updated retro Defiant with 6 figs, 3 men, 3 women. So presumably astronauts enough to crew the damn thing. That's ambitious. That sounds like a HasLab to me, if anything. Not that HasLab would most likely touch the 3 3/4 or 4-inch scale ever again. If anything, they're going to do something classified. Yeah. But one can dream, right? One can always dream. Viper Scout says the Mask Thunderhawk, Mask Switchblade, any 3 Exo Squads, but he wants them at 3 3/4 inches. Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Mecca for the win, baby. And then lastly, Newcastle 6666 says, Mask, quite simply, Mask. Kenner Batman Dark Knight Collection 1990. So he wants those entire toy lines. And yes, I mean, in terms of retro movie Batman toys, the Dark Knight Collection from 1990 that's some grail shit, man.
Mm-hmm.
Because it took every single Batman and for my money, like kept the decos tasty and the accessories were still like good and inventive. It didn't gimp the toys by making them neon green or something. Like they all looked like cool Batman, but they had fabulous gear. Like each one was, a play pattern unto itself. Anyways. And it came with the best like Burton Batmobile ever produced. Can we at least agree on that? Yeah.
So good.
So beautiful. Anywho, who wants to read Insta?
Insta.
Paul, hit us with the patrons, brother.
Yes.
Yeah, let me hit you with some Patreons.
Make
with
us
the
feel
Force.
patriotic.
I'm going to start with Darren Cobb. Things that exist list. I like where he's coming from. That's a very Paul thing to do. Okay, at number 5, a USS Flag. At number 4, a Cobra Rappler. 3, a complete whale. Yeah, dude, I agree with you on a complete whale. That would be magic. 2, vacation. 2, the Vacation in the Shadows convention set. Oh, cool. Yeah, actually, I actually forgot about. And number 1, a second Vacation in the Shadows set. So he's a big fan of that one. Then
you're going to be stuck with a lot of those Red Shadows flame troopers that no one loves. Or maybe you love them, Darren, actually.
Yeah, that's the thing,
Yeah, look, O-ring style Red Shadows. Oh, yes, oh, yay. I see where you're coming from, brother. Big time.
And then a fantasy wish list from him is a classified Red Shadow. Okay, so he's feeling that action force. 4th, a classified Iron Grenadier. Dude, I'm up there with you on that. 3, Castle Destro. Yes. And that's also something I'm seeing quite a bit on the lists, just as a heads up. 2, Arbico Valdez. So that's interesting, actually. I wonder if he means like, and correct me if I'm wrong here, but does he mean like the Valdez, the oil tanker Valdez?
That's fancy.
It's epic. Wow. We don't often see that being suggested, but
well done, Darren. That's a cool one. And then number 1 on his list is the Cobra Transport helicopter, which we know is quite a big fan favorite as well. So yeah,
I'd say it's probably a 3-way tie or 4-way tie between the Terradrome, USS Flag, Defiant, and the Aspid. I hate calling it that. The Cobra Transport helicopter. That's right.
Cool. Then we're moving on to Tim Wilde from Saints on Cinema. I'm going to go from 5 to 1. Number 5, a figure of a US president. There are plenty of figures that can be used as generic military personnel, but have a US president to be taken hostage or whatever in a suit with full articulation, that would be awesome.
That does sound cool. But it'd have to kind of be a generic one though, or I suppose like one that everyone agrees is like their favorite president, like Lincoln, maybe.
I don't know. I think like a box set would be good of the most recent. So like Trump, Biden, Bush, Clinton, other Bush. Just to start with. Just to start with, that could be like wave one.
I suppose you could do
just
that,
use
yeah.
the same suited and booted body, and just give them different heads.
Different heads,
I
yeah.
mean, do the presidents all have such wildly varied physiques? Don't answer that.
Trump.
Yes,
Yeah.
they do.
Hey, do you think
Some
like,
of them
a
really
convention
enjoyed
exclusive-
KFC? I mean, a KFC McDonald's. So
They could do a convention exclusive 3-pack where you could get Bill Clinton, Hillary, and
A cigar.
a cigar. And what's her name?
Monica Lewinsky.
Monica Lewinsky. That would be awesome. That would be like the SDCC pack version of that. That would be fantastic. I think that
And
would
a
be so
play
good.
set that included the Oval Office desk. Doesn't that involve?
Yeah, a little feature.
I think
like
so, yeah.
It's like a little button. Yeah, that you
Of
can.
course, you can't do Bill Clinton without like a sax. Surely.
Yes. Yeah, his accessories would be like a sax. Doesn't he have a cat as well? Wasn't there like a big
Trump
thing?
comes
about
with
his cat?
McDonald's. I think that'd be quite cool.
Jeez, dude, Trump he's just like got like huge stacks of cash or whatever, and he's got
You
like
have too many accessories, I think.
yeah. But I mean, they could really
A
like,
golf
they could,
club and like
And I mean, listen, I mean, I
Is
don't
he
want
gonna
to
come with Melania? No, she can stay home.
Then at number 4, this is very close to my heart too, is a Ninja Force Snake Eyes with an O-ring and no stupid action feature. Here, brother. I feel you on that.
That'd be brilliant.
Custom in progress, Paul.
Oh, dude. For that,
Ooh.
yeah, there's just
You
a
can't
lot of
salvage
uniqueness.
anything from that figure because
No, you really.
even the arms will have no. Actually, the arms will be ungimped. Like they will be standard arms. They won't be.
Yeah,
any
but they
kind of-
weren't swivel arms, were they? I mean, they were just straight up and down.
No, the
Or am I
Ninja Force one
misremembering?
had proper. The Ninja Force Snake Eyes had proper arms. It was his torso and legs that were the mess.
They completely
There's no
varied.
O-ring.
And to a
On that
certain degree, the
topic-
head as well. I mean, his head, I think, could only turn.
Yeah.
On that topic, though, if for example, you got a good 3D modeler or whatever, you could actually 3D model that upper torso. You could actually 3D model all those parts. You could actually get that right, and then have them produced. Maybe that should be. Maybe I don't know. Maybe that should be a thing.
That is the thing. You could probably 3D.
Yeah.
Yeah, you could model it, and then you kind of just design your own articulation for it,
Yeah,
and then
or
print it out like that.
yeah,
I'm a
exactly.
model, you know what I mean.
what I
And I
mean.
do my 3D snake eyes on the computer.
On the computer. Yeah,
Rob,
on
are
the
you playing that
computer.
stupid high school, junior school playground game where you just repeat everything that the other person said?
Yes, I definitely do that all the time. It's the
Ooh.
best.
You know, my
It's the best.
comeback for that was to just speak nonstop. Like, good luck remembering this monologue that I'm about to deliver, because everyone listening to this podcast knows that I can talk.
It's true.
Oh, boy, can I
I've
talk.
heard you talk for many minutes.
Then
All right,
at number
Paulie.
three, a John Rambo figure. Yeah, that would
Mm.
be cool. War. Yeah. Number 2.
Why don't we have it? Why don't we have it?
I don't know. I don't
What's
know.
the deal?
There must
There's
be
gotta
like
be
maybe there's like
something
a reaction figure or like some sort of random company made a.
Well, there was the
Rambo
Force
figure.
of Freedom Rambo line back in the late 80s to tie in with
Yeah.
the cartoon, but
Yeah.
they are very much of their time.
A GI Joe base that was 360, not just a design with a rickety jail and a computer console, consoler, one-sided wall. Yeah, like that makes sense. I get that.
Well, that's the MCC, isn't it?
Well, I suppose the MCC does make up for some of the sins on that from a toyetic point of view, I suppose. But yeah,
I suppose not like a fixed base.
yes, yeah.
Look,
And
Street
then-
and Eamon did the third-party GI Joe HQ, but that's also probably going to fall short of what you want, because that's
Yeah.
a lot of walls and rooms, but they're all squares. Like you want a fully molded plastic base that is, considerable. Yeah, I'm just going to point you in the direction of like the couch and the dining room table, my friend, and say, let your imagination take flight.
And then number 1, Tim Wild wants a Terradrome that isn't just control consoles on the top and strange partial features of the base around of the base around the base that are exposed to the exterior. Rather have a way to take off the top and have a layout on the inside with a couple of rooms and a jail or whatever with a little more detail, and a way to put that out, to pull that out, leaving a garage in the bottom floor with a guarded exit. So yeah, that's I think a lot of
Timmy,
people would
I
love.
want to point you in the direction of Magnus's Lego Terradrome, because holy shit, that thing is masterful. It does have all these very cleverly worked out internal rooms and like bays that overlook the kind of the repair bay, the vehicle bay, and like meeting rooms and like the commander's personal chambers. Like, oh man, the mind races.
Which brings us to Chris Miwa, from sorry Chris, for a second there, like
Chasing 80s Toys. Right.
Yes, thank you. Oof, my brain. At number 5, he would love a Motu Origins King Randor in formation style. Dude, I think that could be pretty rad. I don't know if we would ever get it as a formation style, but hey, this is why it's the wish list, right? At 4, an Action Man Desert Rat figure from Valiverse. Yep, he wants a Tony. He wants a small Tony in his collection. Number 3, a GI Joe Dragonfly. Yeah, dude, can't fault you on that. That is a beautiful toy. I've got the Tigerfly myself, and it is just so much fun. It's weird. You would think like a helicopter is just a helicopter, but something about the Dragonfly is very special. A Motu Classics Cringer. I can see the appeal of that. And dude, surely these are quite, like, I know that they're difficult to get hold of, but I really hope that you get one of these like soon, because there's a lot of them out there and at varying prices. I can even look here locally to try and see if I can find you one. I understand the appeal. The sculpt is very good. Personally, I like the articulation of the new one, but that is really cool. And the big one at number 1 is the USS Flag. Very cool. Like, space is definitely not a concern. Which brings us to Gaz. Gaz is like in the chat box going, yay! Okay, from number 5, there would be the Conquest X30. Yes, agreed.
Good toy.
Good choice and a good toy. The Cobra Hydrofoil. Yes, please. Hey, Cobra Moray is just sexy. 3. Now, this is an interesting one. It's a Moray, yeah. 1986 Tyco Hopper RC. Do you guys remember this car? This little toy?
No.
I did a Google search of it and came up with images that looked a lot like the Crossfire. But I guess my point of reference is always going to be GI Joe toys. But yeah, it looks a lot like the Crossfire.
It's a cool toy. Tyco did awesome RC stuff. I remember that thing that they did that flips, like with the wheels, and it could go up a wall and flip over. And then, was it Tyco that was responsible for those RC cars that had like the spikes in the wheels? So you press like a button and then they had like claws coming out of their wheels and stuff like that. I think they did that too. That was a cool line. I just don't know the name of them. And number 2, he wants a Defiant Space Shuttle Complex. And I'm just going to insert here with unbroken doors. And this is an interesting one. A complete Colonel Steve Austin $6 million man vintage figure. And I'm going to stress a complete. This is a very sought after piece, and I believe these are very expensive on the secondary market. Wow, dude, very cool. Then his fantasy wish list is a Gunstar from the last Starfighter. Yay! Somebody else has seen that movie.
Oh man,
that Cobra Snakehead transport cargo plane for the from the Real American Hero series. I love to hate that thing, but I see where you're coming from. They need it. Satan figure from the Pyramid of Darkness miniseries, either in vintage or classified.
Saturn, you
It's pronounced. He spelled it out here as Satan, so I was like,
oh,
okay,
excellent.
well, How many times do I get to say Satan on the show for no reason? Street Hawk, the motorcycle with Jesse Mach, also in classified version. Yeah, wasn't that a? They did do that as a toy originally, right? And then there was like a whole thing with I keep wanting to call it Funko Pop now. Fun School. Didn't Fun School also do something with the Street Hawk? That was like
they used various parts, and sometimes they mix and match them anyways. But I do seem to recall Targat's head being used for the sort of the bike helmet.
Madness.
And
the Force Toys. We need an Ace Hunter action figure. Yeah, dude. Okay, and from the man known as Dustin T. Cordish. I really try to limit my collecting habits. In the past, I've purged and tried to restrict myself to just 3 3/4-inch GI Joe, but even that limitation has been slowly creeping into other areas. Looking at you, Classified. Still, there are so many things out there that I had at one time or would love to have. Mars Attacks, Food Fighters, Pee-wee's Playhouse, FP Adventure People. Steel Monsters and Zorro was some of my more unusual stuff I had in my collection at various points throughout my life, alongside other mainstream stuff like Star Wars and Transformers. Other existing lines like Dune, very cool, Dino Riders, Planet of the Apes, and others were very appealing to me, but I have to practice discipline and self-restraint. I've really been admiring Sigma 6 since the line was still on the shelves at retail. Okay. I just honing in on the Sigma 6 stuff. You got some cool stuff here, but the Sigma 6 had some interesting ideas. Like, they were very toyetic, and I'm glad that I own the Snake Eyes from that line. Playmobil RC Freight Train Set 5258. Very pricey, but I want this to essentially replicate that amazing Joe Train custom by Oreo Builder. In fact, there are a lot of amazing customs that this guy's put out that I'd love to see mass-produced and put in the hands of collectors. But since I first laid eyes on this beauty, there's been a hole in my heart needing filled. So yeah,
here's to hoping it doesn't take too much doctoring to kind of remove the Playmobil-ness of it. You know, that stuff is always tantalizingly good, but just not ample legroom, or it just is a little too perhaps toyetic. Like a really flashy paint job could really go a long way to making your train dreams come true. Hey, Dustin.
Next up on his list is a Cobra submarine. Foregoing the fan favorite Cobra Aspid helicopter inspired from the comics. Again, lots of awesome customs out there to appreciate. I'd love to see a large Cobra submarine style playset to rival the Defiant and MCC that could pursue the USS Flag. Don't have a flag or a Defiant for that matter, but one day. Yeah, dude. It's interesting you mentioned that. I keep seeing this submarine that's done by, I think it's something Force or whatever, but it's this like big submarine toy, and it keeps getting my attention. I keep wondering, maybe I should get that. Maybe that's the closest you'll get to something like that, but I understand the need for something that is specifically GI Joe in design from the page to production.
Paul, you're talking about a Sentinel 1.
Sentinel, yes. Yeah.
It's junk.
Is it?
Ruining people's dreams.
The generic stuff, you know, you're always going to feel that price crunch. Like, it's getting a lot of plastic to you fairly inexpensively. And it's a crap thing. It's just not good. I mean, power to anyone who has found joy in it, but like, it's not fit for the purpose that Dustin is wanting this Cobra submarine to fulfill. Like, it's got to be a more substantial thing than that. Like, that thing could be done up nicely, perhaps as like a rescue sub, you know, like a very like small team submarine. But it's certainly not gonna pursue the USS Flag and go toe to toe with it.
And now here's one that's a little out of left field from Dustin. SCP Foundation. Okay, so the rest of my list will be more unconventional. I've made some of my own mobile task force troops from the Marauder parts. Anyone remotely familiar with the SCP wiki understands how difficult a toy line like this might be to curate. But there is also so much limitless potential. Of course, their Creative Commons clause makes any products related to the SBC universe virtually impossible. But the list is meant to be unrestricted desires, right? I'd forgo this option for the line of Lovecraft-inspired monsters and characters, which weirdly may be more attainable. He also mentions, and this is a surprise, Twin Peaks. I absolutely love Twin Peaks. This is probably a perplexing choice to some, but whatever, it's my list. A Twin Peaks toy line would be just amazing to see. I think if they went and they did like a play set for that was sort of broken up into like different rooms. So like if you had the diner, the red room, and then like maybe the hotel, and then like a little like cut out like diorama of some of the forest stuff. I think that could be really interesting, actually.
That'd be awesome.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but didn't Reaction do Twin Peaks toys? Look, they're not going to scratch that itch.
And Funko Pops as well. I mean,
unfortunately,
yeah, I was like, I don't think I'll ever get any other toys. So fortunately, I did buy the Funko Pops. I was like, this is the closest I ever get. And because one of the characters was literally the dead girl from the start of the TV series, they made a dead person Funko Pop. And I was like, sold. I have a dead
all
person
Funko Pops have those dead eyes anyways.
It's true, but like it's literally a dead person is a Funko Pop, and I was like, "This is insane."
I think you can have so much fun, man. There's just so much cool stuff you could do with it, especially if the line is like well articulated as well. I think it could be great. And there's something I want to mention, and it's just quickly. It's from Evangelion, and they sort of make kind of a self-referential sort of joke, but it's not really a joke. It's kind of just a thing about articulation, and it kind of relates to toys, and it's awesome. I think if you've seen it, you know what I'm talking about, and if you haven't, well, go and see it to know what I'm talking about. Anyway, and finally, lots of other choices could have easily made this slot. The Running Man was a movie that should definitely have a modern toy line. Dude, totally. I love Running Man. Tank Girl, Logan's Run. Yes, Logan's Run. Somebody else is a fan. Planet of the Apes, Blade Runner, Westworld, Universal Monsters, Godzilla. Wow, dude, he's really stretching the gamut here. Some of these have seen toy incarnations, some haven't. I feel like I'm muddying the intent of the question by picking lines that will probably never see the light of day or may have never been asked for. But that's how I roll. I considered weird shit like some of the actual props from Team America, World Police, or any of the Jerry Anderson TV shows as a final selection. Those props are fantastic. The Chat May Osprey very nearly made this list, and as nice as that would be. Heroes and villains of classic literature, Sherlock Holmes, Robin Hood, Captain Nemo, Inspector Lacrosse, Arthur Gordon Pym. Yep, I think that'll do it. Sorry for being so long-winded about my choices. Trust me, if you read the entire post, it took me a lot longer to make these decisions than it took for you to read it. Dustin, thanks for that, man. At least all of your effort has now been immortalized in the podcast and as an awesome post in the Patreon. Dude,
well,
wow.
I hope that also like this exercise has been somewhat cathartic to everyone out there, like trying to kind of get a handle on what it is that they really want out of their collecting. Like that's kind of what this was for me too. And it seems like with responses like Dustin's, it's evident that this has become quite an important exercise for a number of people. So awesome. Let the good work continue in the comment section down below.
Cool.
Heck yeah, after you like this.
Yeah,
thanks, guys.
put down in the comments, like give us all the cool ones.
Hit subscribe.
Yeah. By the way, I just want to remind everybody the stuff is not real. But anyway, carrying on. Martin Day says, only a wish list, as I have everything else I need. Martin, how very zen of you, actually, dude. That's very cool. But he is currently hoping for a classified, let's start at number 5, a classified Budo. Oh, somebody's ears peaked in the comments. A classified Jinx, the other ear peaked. A classified Crimson Guard. Oh, hell yes. But I mean, to all three of those, by the way, Budo, Jinx, and Crimson Guard are also sort of on my passive wish list for classified releases. Classified Snake Eyes V3. Yeah, dude. I think that is definitely fantasy territory. If we ever get that, that will be amazing. And a classified Night Creeper version 1 original look only. Yes, because that is the best look for Night Creeper. Agreed. Cool. Scuba Pete comes in with my magical wish list. At number 5, Buck Rogers Starfighter. Cool. At number 4, version 1 Snake Eyes Mint on card. I hear you, buddy. Number 3, Motu Origins Eternia playset. Yes, that is, I'm pretty sure, quite high on a lot of Motu collectors' playlists, wish lists. That was originally a very rare piece. It only came out near the end of the Motu line. It was also very fragile, and I think it was not recalled, but was only partially released or partially distributed because of its sort of finicky kind of assembly and all that kind of stuff. Anyway,
did Origins do a playset, or is this a fantasy pick?
This is a fantasy pick, but hey, you know, they did Grayskull, so next to Snake Mountain, and if this thing continues to make money for them, I don't think Eternia is going to be too far away. A Star Wars Bespin World playset. Yes. And actually, I think this sort of strays, this is on the line. I think this is something that could very well actually happen.
No. But by Bespin World, that would be the metal minifigures, like the microfigure collection. That I mean, unless I'm mistaken, that is what Bespin World is. It's the carbonite freezing chamber. It's the gantry with the window that Luke gets launched out of, and I think like the weather vane that he clambers onto. Like they all connect, so you can basically recreate Han's freezing and carbonites, and then the duel between Darth and Luke. But maybe he's referencing a fantasy toy that doesn't exist, and like just like having that in a Star Wars 4-inch or 3 3/4 inch or Black Series 6-inch scale, maybe. And yes, Hans in the comments has referenced that Hasbro's efforts with that bloody Bespin freezing chamber was dire. Well, I'm going to put words in your mouth, Hans, and it's just awful. I mean, hilariously bad. Like, everyone tore that one a new asshole. My brother, who was in the UK, told me that thing is just sitting, not going anywhere. No one's buying it. Yeah.
I've got the Han and Carbonite Lego set, which is really awesome. And that's the closest I feel I'll ever get to something like that. So
you got it for Boba Fett, didn't you?
I got it for Boba and for the fact that it came with Han as well. And it's awesome. Cobra Silent Castle playset at number 1 for Scuba Pete. Yes, please, dude. I feel you on that big time. Big time. Hans Chow comes in with a G.I. Joe 30th anniversary sci-fi. Dude, yes. Wow, that toy is great. If I had to, I would try to make a plan with you to get it to you, but I sadly don't. I only managed to get one of those for myself, and I love that toy. It's a great toy. Keep pursuing it. It is worth it. San Diego Comic-Con G.I. Joe Serana. Same thing I said about sci-fi. Definitely worth owning. Although, would you want the pink one or the Cold Slither Tour version, or both? Number 3, Lego Medieval Blacksmith 21325. If this is the one I'm thinking of, we're talking early 90s or late 80s.
No, isn't this Lego Ideas? This is quite a recent release.
Oh, is it?
Darren Cobb was flexing his build of that. It is beautiful. Oh my word. That's a great set. So much visual intrigue, so many little nooks. It's really like, oh, Paul, do your research, man. This is an incredible Lego set.
I'm going to go and check it out. I'm just scared of checking out Lego, dudes, but you'll know why later. Mega Constructs Masters of the Universe Castle Grayskull. Okay, so I've seen this. I've had a few people send this link to me because it's available here in South Africa. It is sitting at a pretty price of, I think, between $3,500 and $4,000. I think a lot of these were ordered. I think this is a mass distributed product, and I think if guys play their cards right, they may be able to pick these up for a steal later. But then again, don't hold me to it if you miss out on it. But it is a fantastic toy. Wow. And then a vintage Cobra Terradrome. I've said enough about the Terradrome. It's beautiful. And yes, Hans, you'll be very happy with that. And I understand what holds you back because that is a big toy, aside from the price. But you could win the lotto, you know what I mean? So, Magical Unicorns and Ponies list from Hans. Nice. Okay. A modern updated GI Joe flag. Very cool. A modern updated Cobra Terradrome. An updated Decepticon Combaticons Bruticus Combiner. Yeah, I can understand that because the last one is cool, but I believe it's finicky.
Combiner Wars, like in the light of what Transformers is doing now, Combiner Wars looks a little bit cheap.
Yes.
Sorry, said it. Like maybe not the centerpieces, but the limbs are all, they're kind of reuse parts and reuse molds and stuff.
Yeah.
Primitive. The word is apparently primitive.
that I do understand that as well, because I mean, even that stopped me from buying the combiners back. I remember it was my birthday, and for my birthday present to myself, I almost bought that set. Actually, was it Bruticus or was it the Jet? I can't remember now. Well, it wasn't greater than some of its parts, so I was like, no. I instead bought a Batmobile. Anyway, a modern style Armada Starscream with Minicon, of course. Oh, okay, that's interesting. I see a lot of Armada love. That's cool. Hey, dude, anything's possible. Hey, with the way Transformers going, I wouldn't be surprised if we see that soon enough. And last but not least, Hasbro removing exclusives from GI Joe forever. This is the biggest unicorn of them all. Hell yes, Hans. Hell yes. Thank you. And guys, that is all of the Patreon. Yeah.
That's amazing. Let people buy their toys wherever they want. Don't do exclusives.
Yeah. It's stupid. It's hurt the Origins line. It's made the first 2 waves of Origins really difficult to get because they were like Walmart exclusives or some shit as a test bed. Anyway, guys, that's the Bergforce on Patreon. That's what they all dig.
And as for Facebook and Insta, wonderful responses once again, and we're going to get around to them in the next podcast session. So with bated breath, you'll have to wait another week. But before we disappear, I mean, we got to get our picks out, right, guys? Put that out in the ether. Rob, I know you're not actively collecting, but like the task was, what is your wish list, man?
There's still things out there that I think are worth getting. So something I think Paul should add to his list. These figures. I literally just saw these in Big Bad Toy Store today. These are what are they called? Tyrannicon Rex and the JP93, and they are a Transformers Jurassic Park mashup. And I think these look really amazing, and I think definitely, Paul, you need to get these.
Dude, I'm with you on that. Shane, how cool is this? Andrew Creech saw the article as well when these were revealed, and he immediately sent me a picture and asked me about them. I definitely do want to get my hands on these. I'm watching them on BBTS. They are waiting pre-order, so they're not available yet. But when they come, if they are at reasonable price, I think I will get them because that T-Rex is great.
Well, at least I've managed one of your honorable mentions for you.
Thank you.
So first up, something that I don't own, I would absolutely love to own would be a Zartan. I think Zartan would be fantastic. Thank you to Yojo for this picture. Mm-hmm. Yes, Hans, I want a Dreadnought, but when I think of him, I don't think of him as a Dreadnought. So
Zartan. So Rob, like a bit of disclosure, this would have been on my list had I not bought one 3 months ago.
Well, then obviously you don't need it. Yeah, if you own it already.
Exactly right. But it was on my. It has been a pursuit. Let's put it.
It's been one of the like golden. What are they called? Golden whales. I don't know what they're called.
Unicorns.
Unicorns. Golden unicorn.
White whale, Rob.
White whale. I just like gold. I love me some gold.
Isn't that a Star Trek reference?
The golden whale. I don't know.
Captain Ahab needs to go hunt his white whale. Something like that. I don't know.
I'm a Dr. Jim, not a whaler. And then next up would be something that kind of complements one of the very first figures I ever bought, and with my own money. It's one of the very first things I ever bought on eBay, and it's something I have mentioned before. Would be the Masterpiece Skids. Because like one of the first ones was the TF Collection Skids, and then from there, kind of me and Stephen blossomed out and bought Well, not all of them, but I mean most of the really
I would
good
say
looking
like
ones.
most of them.
Most of them. And this is definitely
had
one of
a
those
lot of-
figures. You had a lot of them too, or
No, I had a lot of fun
jealousy.
at Steve's place with all of these surrounding me, going through them like bit by bit and enjoying them. So
they are a lot of fun, and I think it would be a nice compliment because I don't think I own any. Well, I think Masterpiece Soundwave. I think Soundwave is a Masterpiece.
Mm-hmm.
your one,
Yeah,
is,
he is. Yes. So I think he'd be a really cool one to have, just to kind of like kind of like harken back to one of the very first toys I ever bought.
And Rob, sorry, man. On
Mhm.
this topic, have you checked out Thew's awesome review on skids? Like when he talks about skids.
I have not checked that out yet.
Please
I'm
do.
saving
I
that.
think you'd really appreciate it. Yeah,
I'm gonna have a look.
Yeah, but this is a cool toy. I love how like normal this car is.
That's what I liked about him originally, because to me he felt like a proper robot in disguise, because you're not expecting this car to be a robot. I mean, okay, other than the very obvious Autobot symbol on the hood there.
Yeah, the only thing you're expecting to pop out of that is like two kids, a mom and a dad, you know?
Exactly.
Didn't this model of Honda come standard in Japan with a electric scooter that folds up into the back?
Yes, I believe
Amazing.
For reals?
Well,
that's crazy. Because I think I didn't get the
Skids'
picture,
trunk.
but you can fit his accessories into the hood, into the trunk of this vehicle.
so.
Yeah,
Like
man.
one
I always thought like maybe the Diathlon version had a accessory that went in there, because G1 Skids definitely has a space. Like you could flip up that
You
back
can.
hatch. Yep.
And next up, I absolutely love my original one, but she does have problems. It's something that happened, I think, maybe when we got her, it happened, or very early on while I was owning her. But I would love to get a swivel arm Scarlet, because I absolutely love my original. But like being able to like turn the arms is just it's a fantastic feature, obviously, that all good GI Joes have, and to have the character again, but with swivel arms and a fixed crotch would be fantastic. This is something I definitely do want to try and get. And thank you once again to Yojo for the picture. Hopefully she's holding the correct accessories this time. Stephen, can you confirm?
Yes, that crossbow is correct. Yeah, that crotch is so thin you can see her T-hook.
It's
wow,
so
you can see all the way up into her crotch.
All the way. And the next up is something I saw recently, but it's always been a character that I've always enjoyed ever since, I think, the 90s, when he came out in I think it was the Toy Biz line. And as a character that I enjoy reading in comic books. And I think while I was looking on the BBTS and finding the pics for Masterpiece Skids, I came across him and I was like, I want this figure. Maybe it's something I want right now. It's currently on the wish list. He might move off the wish list, but it is Revoltech Cable.
Yeah, I've been checking that myself.
This is a fantastic version of Cable. I mean, he looks beefy, he's chunky, he's got all of those beautiful pouches that Rob Liefeld gave him in his original interpretation, and his robotic arm looks properly robotic. And he comes with the proper accessories that you'd imagine Rob Liefeld giving this character.
Such a Revoltech pose, that.
Absolutely crazy guns.
Revoltech. Yeah.
And the cool thing is you can put the guns together and it becomes one gigantic gun. And
I show you in the point you in the direction of Armageddon? Chief did a review of this figure, reviewed it very highly, but demonstrated how quickly it falls apart. Like the joints actually just slide out.
Yeah, that's the problem with these figures. That is actually literally the problem. I mean, I have a Evangelion, the purple one, and that's a very early Revoltech figure. And even back then, like they really did come apart quite easily. And
but it's still wish list worthy. I mean,
I think so.
Going in, at least look, if the joints do kind of fall apart, it's not an irreparable break. It's not like
a problem. You just pop it back in there. But I mean, there's obviously an issue that the line has had for years, and it's something that they're not going to fix, or they don't consider it a problem.
Right.
I don't know.
Well, hey, look, I'd
what
rather
can I
have a
say?
joint that, as I say, slides out and needs to be replaced or put back in than necker, which, those things, you dare not move them until you've given them a very hot soak. And even then, you are ginger as all hell.
So if I can put in my 2 cents with Revotech, because I have a few,
Yes.
rather the joints come out easily than the earlier Revotechs where the Revotech joint itself used to snap.
Yeah,
so much
they're
so that you
really
used to-
fun.
Yeah, they used to actually pack in extra Revotech joints for you. And you could
Yes.
actually buy them in retail. You could buy them on blister packs. Like
If I remember correctly, mine does. It comes with extra joints. I mean, they obviously
so-
knew at the time that these things break easy.
And also
We
with
make
these
40
guys,
toys.
but also Rob, like with a toy like this, with the Revotech joints and things like that, if you just get yourself, and I mean, there is a nice model store there in Cape Town that has Vallejo stuff or Vallejo stuff. But they just get yourself either any of the Vallejo clear coats, like whether it be the matte or the satin or gloss or whatever, and just put a touch on the Revo joints, and that will help them bite a little bit more as well. So,
I don't know, Paul. I'm of the opinion that like you pay X amount for a toy, it needs
You
to
gotta
be
come out of the
playable.
box
and work fine.
Oh, I agree with that. I'm with you on that, Steve. I mean, I feel you there, but I mean, I also like solutions to problems. So that's
true.
like it
would be a barrier to me getting it like invested in this line, though. Is what I'm saying.
Yeah. Well, I mean, also the scaling. It's not a 1:18 scale, but I think they produce some really good looking figures. And when I saw this, I was like, this is fantastic. Like, this is what I imagine Cable looks like, and the fact that he comes with the giant guns, it's a bunch of accessories. You wouldn't have to do anything to make him be awesome. He just looks awesome out of the box. And that brings me to my number 5, which, I mean, I imagine some people might go, oh, it's classified scoop. Obviously, anyone could come up with that. Of course, that's what his number 5 is. But no, because I wouldn't buy a classified scoop. I mean, yes, I think that'd be a fantastic idea, and I'd love for everyone in the world to own a classified scoop, so they'll keep making more, versions of this character. But I myself personally wouldn't necessarily own it. Unless
throwing down
someone
the gauntlet,
eh? Well, I'm just not interested in the classified line personally because it's the wrong scale. We already own versions of these characters. I mean, everyone is more than welcome to collect classified. I think they're fantastic figures, but they're not for me. I think they're really good, but they're not what I want.
Well, Rob, I think
that's all I'm saying.
I don't think you'd say no if a classified scoop found its way into your home, for example.
No, obviously not.
Yeah,
if suddenly there was one like in the trash in my bedroom, I'd be like, I'd take it out for sure, and put it on my shelf. But no, number 5 is something that I feel I need right now, and it would make it fantastic for me to be able to actually move forward with certain projects that I've been wanting to do for quite some time. It's been suggestions from the audience, and it's an idea that I would love to be able to do. So this is my number 1 wishlist figure that I would love to get and own right now. It is Ice Cream Soldier.
Ooh.
I think this is a fantastic figure.
Dude, that's great.
He's my favorite. The colors they match, they complement each other, and the fact that he's called Ice Cream Soldier, he's such a troll because he's not actually giving you ice cream, he's giving you fire and flames, and he'll give you a fantastic video too, along with that Zartan. Those are my wish list characters right now.
Well, Robbie, like I say, you can knock that wishlist item off your wish list because your wish has been granted.
That's crazy.
Last year, Bart sent me an MRE, and as a joke, he said, "Here's some dessert," and it was an Ice Cream Soldier and his accessory, his flamethrower. So I'm sure Bart wouldn't mind if I re-gift his gift to you.
Fantastic.
Now I just need to send it to Africa.
Do it.
I'd rather send it with somebody than to trust the postal service.
Honestly, just FedEx it.
Guys, I've got a lot of stuff for both of you sitting with me, it would be quite a big box. I just need to bite the bullets and
It'd be a
pony
bit
up.
crazy. Nah, dude,
Yeah.
we'll help you out with that. We'll make it happen.
We'll figure out the
So,
logistics there.
yes,
dude.
that is my currently my top 5, my wish list that I'd love to own these items. I mean, I imagine it will change over time, but like MP Skids has been on there for a while. Zartan, I think definitely that won't go away. Swivel Arm Scarlet is something I would love to own. Isham Soldier is kind of like a joke one, but it is something I do want to get, so I can finally make this video that's in my head somewhere. And the Revoltech cable, I think is just it looks like a really cool figure.
All right.
Dude,
I want to blast
Yeah.
through mine nice and quick, boys.
Blast us, Stephen.
Swivel Arm Grunt. I mean,
Ah.
why the hell not? Like, of the OG-13, he's kind of probably the biggest glaring hole. The other two I can live without, and that's Zap and Hawk, because I've got later versions of them that stand in
Much
just
better.
fine. But yeah, OG Grunt is kind of on my radar because version 2 is weird. I mean, version 3. Sorry, version 2 would be the tan version, but like, you know, my quintessential Grunt, which is shouty Grunt. Yeah, he's overstayed his welcome. Toxo Zombie is number. Well, I'm going to count down from 5. So number 4, Toxo Zombie. I've had the opportunity to buy this figure on card twice, and not because they were priced particularly high. They were like about 25 US for a carded Toxo Zombie.
Nothing.
What an idiot am I? I can tell you the reason I didn't buy them. The first was in Singapore, and the second time I saw it was in Korea, in Seoul. The reason I didn't buy it was because I was like, I'm not a carded collector. I don't want the ethical conundrum of like, do I
don't I?
Like what? Like a carded Joe's
It's like
system
Prom Night.
that's going to
I
sit
hear
in the
you.
back of my cupboard. No, I should have just enjoyed the experience of ripping that guy off his card, because now it's difficult to get hold of this figure. It's not impossible, but they're infrequently listed, and they typically do trade hands a little bit higher than your average 90s Eco Warriors figure. The third item, not really a single item at all,
It's a gun.
is just accessories. Accessories. Like, I have a parts list which I've been whittling down for years, and it never seems to get any shorter. The trouble is I keep buying incomplete figures. That's the real problem. But most recently I've had Spirit Air Commando's Spirits,
So cool.
very oversized sport pistol in my crosshairs. I watched a 3.5 hour long claim sale live in Australia, which was predicated on the fact that it is a 90s GI Joe accessories claim sale, waiting for this item to crop up. It did, and I happened to be away from my bloody mobile for those exact 10 seconds. Someone else claimed it out from under me. I was like, oh, please tell me you got another one of those. Nope, sorry, tough shit. This accessory doesn't crop up often, simply because it only came with the glider Spirit. It was not a weapons tree gun, or at least not in its original black color. It did come with the Viper, the Battle Call Viper, but that was in red. And I wanted it in the original color. Anyways, my basic whinge is about the fact that I never can seem to get on top of my parts lists. So yeah, parts. Number 2, the Sky Striker. Rob, I have been using yours for years, and now that I'm 9 time zones away from your Sky Striker, it really puts the burn on me finally taking the plunge and getting the damn thing for myself. This is going to probably be a birthday purchase, like at the end of the year. They do trade hands, like typically around like 250 Oz dollars, so about 200 US. But I have seen them go as little as 120 Oz dollars, which is a steal. Like, these auctions do happen. You just have to be vigilant. So yeah, I'm hoping to get one and not pay too dearly for it, because it can be done.
Steve, Hans. Oh, sorry.
Go ahead, brother.
I was going to say, Hans Chow in the comments says, is it really that much better than the 30th? I would prefer if you answered this than I do.
Oh, Hans. Oh, my friend. The 30th actually ruined the Sky Striker for me. I'm like, if any, like, you made this point, Paul, and I totally stand by it. Like, the 30th is so lame. Anyone who's not had experience with the original Sky Striker is going to wonder what all the fuss is about.
Mm-hmm.
The original Sky Striker has a feel to it, a sheen, a smoothness, which you find in aviation. A jet should be sleek and shiny and glinting, and the Sky Striker is that. It also doesn't have like wings that are you kind of stick them in, so it doesn't have this big lumpy block of screws on the underside. There's just it's so much better, man. The mechanism that brings the wheels down just has such a satisfying clack. It better be a satisfying clack. It better not be a clack and a break. Then you cry big tears. Yeah, look, I can't sing its praises enough. And yes, 2-seater. It's the way it's meant to be.
Although it shouldn't be
and also the
glinty,
missile,
because it's not realistic, at least according to Bart. Because then it's too easy to see by the enemy.
Yeah, but it's a cool feeling toy. The shininess. It does make the toy feel different.
But I would say that the 30th anniversary Sky Striker doesn't have a satin finish. It is a matte,
Tupperware.
like a coarse. It is a Tupperware finish. So yeah, say what you will.
Well, as someone who owns both, I think I definitely prefer the original over the newer one.
Oh,
it's not 100% inferior. I mean, if you can't get your hands on an original, I think it's a good substitute. And if you are happy with the toy, then
it's not a good
fine,
substitute.
Hans.
No, I cannot make this point more explicitly. Like,
I'm trying to make him feel better.
If you're teaching on, well, this is going out to folks that are wondering which Sky Striker to get. I suppose it breaks down as to whether or not you are a modern era GI Joe collector, in which case the back plugs on the original will be useless to you. So then go modern. But no. Don't sour your tastes of the Sky Striker by getting the 30th anniversary. Please do yourself a favor. Keep your eye on the markets, on the eBay trades, and find that auction and snipe it and get it and treasure it, and get repro stickers. I mean, a Sky Striker with all its as long as it's unbroken and functioning, like, the stickers could be absolutely knackered, but you can peel them all off, dispose of them, like, get this thing polished up to a nice squeaky clean and apply new stickers. And boy, oh boy, is that not a treat to refurbish the Sky Striker? Oh, I tell you, best. Anyways, I'm getting way sidetracked. My number one item that's still in my crosshairs is something that I do own, but there's a tragic story attached to it. I got Tiger Force Outback in a trade. I didn't pay money for this guy. How amazing is that? Well, so amazing, karma came back around to kick me in the butt, because my very own Tiger Force Outback, the very same weekend I got it, found its way into the hands of my best friend's daughter, and she smashed his foot, cracked it. It's in 2 pieces. And I was able to glue it into 1 piece, but there's a
tough
ridge
out there in the wild.
There's a ridge on that boot that bothers me, guys. It bothers me. All I want in this world right now is a right lower leg to a Tiger Force
All I want for
Outback.
Christmas is my own right foot.
It keeps me up nights, guys. And most recently, there's been not 1 but 2 random lots that Tiger Force Outbacks have found their way into. 1 here in domestic Australia. If you're watching the YouTube version, there's a Tiger Force torso in this lot, and then you scroll down a little bit, and then his legs are down there, man. I could have scooped up that boot and had plenty of extra figures to make me dry my eyes about the closing bid price of 100. The bid closed at $110.50. I was the leading bidder with like 3 seconds to go at 108 Aussie dollars. Sniped by someone with like 4,000 feedbacks. So clearly I was sniped by a dealer who like just said $200 or maybe
Proper
even 300
professional.
just to ensure that they got it. So that's how you go.
Steve,
That's how you go in the sniping
Paul
game.
can just 3D print you and paint one for you. A nice little right foot for you.
It's got to be the original or bust. Then there was another auction in the UK. In fact, I spread my feelers wide, gentlemen. If you're looking for these to crop up organically.
Nice.
Yeah, Tiger Force Sarkar was in a lot along with Tiger Force Outback, and his lamp was still attached to his leg. Rare. Anyways, this bad boy ended on the princely sum of 74 Great British pounds, which is not 74 pounds.
I'm joking, dude. It's just in South Africa, So.
Not a lot of money for a TF Outback. Anyways, that's me, gentlemen. I my sub story is that this figure continues to elude me, at least in a form that I want him.
So okay, so before I get into mine, I just want to mention that this is a wish list of things that may or may not exist. I have purposefully left out, with the exception, there's some GI Joe in here, but I've purposefully left out GI Joe for the most part because I am actively collecting GI Joe, and I feel like just the way my brain works, I feel like at some point I will be able to achieve the goal that I set myself for my collecting, and it still excites me. So yeah, so this list is more a matter of I'd like to try and I hope I don't sound too esoteric here, but I'd like to manifest these opportunities in my life. So let's see. Okay, cool. Here we go. So this is me sharing my screen. So before I touch on this beautiful machine, number 5 technically is, I would love it if they did some kind of Ninja Force or Ninja themed play set for GI Joe. I don't think that would ever happen. And I believe that it's something that I would have to make myself, but that is something I would really, really actively pursue if it existed. And I mean like a proper one, not like a repaint or some repaint of something else, something that was like purpose for the Ninja Force specifically. Just because I think it'd be cool. Anyway, which brings me to number 4. Number 4 is Metal Build Crossbone Gundam, as you can see on the screen here, and also Metal Build F91. Now, I had the opportunity to get one of these, but $250 was how much they cost when they first came out, and that is very rich for my blood for this kind of thing. And it became very difficult to get hold of. These are very hard to get hold of pieces, especially for anything less than like $500, irrespective if you're buying from Japanese Amazon or Japanese eBay or American eBay or whatnot. So these are like, one day I hope to be close to being a billionaire and I could pick these up easily and have them in my space. But I love these 2 toys. They are beautiful. They're 2 of my favorite Gundam units in the Gundam series, and I just love the styling that is done on them. So I would love these, but yeah, anyway, really rich for my blood at the moment, and logistics and all that. So it fits the bill. It's something that's hard to get. It's something that's really expensive, and yeah, it takes up space. So that's kind of the criteria here. Okay, next one. A Ghostbusters Proton Pack Neutrino Wand, PKE meter, and Ghost Trap that are replicas of the movie. I would love this in my life so much.
That'd be so cool. Damn.
It'd be so cool. These things are available, but we are looking at about $2,000 for all of the, cumulatively for all of those items. They will take up a lot of space, but they will bring you a lot of joy. There are kits that you can buy, that you can make. I know that there's a thing on Kickstarter right now where you can do it, but it is still rich for my blood. It's still sitting at like $800, $900. Anyway, this is a severe wish list item. One day I will either make something like this or find a way to attain this. But this is one of my major wish list items, is a Proton Pack and Neutrino Wand, PKE meter, and Ghost Trap. The next one is Tiger Force Outback.
Oh shit, you and Steven are fighting for these things.
Yeah, dude, I would love one of these. To be fair, I have the best version of this toy made for me by Jim Godfrey. It sits very lovingly in my collection, and I love the fact that I have it, and thank you, Jim. But I would also still love to get the vintage one, just because it is the point of inspiration, and I love Tiger Force, and this would definitely be the cap to that bottle. So yeah, and this picture comes to us from, I think it's Joe A Day. So thank you, Joe A Day, for this awesome shot. I see yours has also got a broken crotch. Moving right along. And my number one, and this doesn't exist, but I want this, and I'm going to be quite specific as to what I want. Not Magnus Laglo, although he is awesome. His Lego Silent Castle is breathtaking, and I'm going to zoom in on this picture as much as I can before it gets funny. But I feel that this beautiful man over here has set the template for what we should have as a silent castle, and I'm going to move over to the next wonderful piece of work. I would love a Cobra Silent Castle that stands at least 1.2 or 1.4 meters tall for it to actually accommodate vintage figures or modern era figures, but it needs to be big enough to hold the 1 to 18th scale Joes. It must have a lot of the great features that are featured in the comic book, aka the silent interlude. And yeah, it should be built on the template of Magnus Laglo's Lego Silent Castle. That would be an ultimate thing for me to have in my life. I would make space in my life for that.
How big did you say it should be in meters?
About 1.4 meters.
1.4 meters. Damn, that's almost that's like 1.5 meters. That's...
Yeah, which is not that, I mean, it would then essentially be G.I. Joe's biggest playset. At the tower a little bit above the Defiant launch complex. It would almost be as long as the flag, or be as long as the flag is if the flag was on, from bow to stern.
Well, I mean, it would be that tall, but like most of what's going on would be lower down, though. I mean, as it goes higher, there is actually less stuff going on. So, I mean, it sounds tall, like really big, but I mean, I think it's doable.
Yeah, but the functionality is all at the bottom, exactly, right? And it would be cool if it had a little section, like if it just could capture key moments from Silent Interlude and, sort of find a good balance between being Sunbow and comic book. That would be awesome. A throne room. It would be cool if it had the little prison where, Scarlet is stashed. It would be great if we could do the rappelling scene for Snake Eyes, from the cover at least. Yeah, like stuff like that. That would be the ultimate playset for me for G.I. Joe that doesn't exist, that I wish would exist. And
a gladiator pit so that Rama can fight Dukes, his hunts, and Bosch here to crush your dreams by saying it'll be cardboard like the missile complex.
But yeah, this is pretty much where I'm at the moment, with my stuff. I mean, I could have mentioned Gundam models. I could have mentioned a whole bunch of other things, but I wanted to zen out on this and really focus, because as Steve mentioned earlier in the episode, that's kind of what this is about. It's about just narrowing one's focus or just getting a target.
It's like pie in the sky things. It's like there's things that you want to kind of make become real, and things that you just wish you really could own.
Exactly, man. I mean,
this has been a great exercise.
Yeah, I mean, at one point in this list, in the draft for this list, I had a 1-to-1 scale RX-78 Gundam with a working cockpit. It didn't necessarily have to move, just be able to it'd be cool to sit in this cockpit of the Gundam,
That would be
but then, and I mean, but then we get into serious fantasy territory, because then we would have to live in 0G for me to be able to actually board it properly, or should I say safely. So Motu Origins is something that I'm actively collecting. And so I don't see it so much as a wish list as much as this is what I'm actively doing. And I decided to leave it out of this list because it wasn't super pie in the sky, but it is definitely something that's bringing me a lot of joy. So for those of you guys that predicted some Motu stuff, you were not wrong. It's definitely there. And there is this very scary little voice in my head that keeps whispering, Mesco. And the Mezco stuff is really speaking to me. That
they have some incredible stuff.
They do. And so, I don't want to put that on the list because I'm sort of a little bit in denial still about that. And thankfully, my Super 7 Ninja Turtles collection is slowly going to come to a head soon, because I believe Donatello will be out at the end of this year with Casey Jones, which means that will be capped for me. So thank goodness. Yeah.
I'm really great. I mean, I'm really great. I am really great, but I'm really happy that we're able to kind of like get through and like kind of see. There's such a diverse amount of stuff that people really wish they could get. And it's cool that a lot of it is kind of expanding on stuff that's already out there and is possible. I mean, especially all the classified picks. Those are things that a lot of these people hopefully will be able to see in the next couple of years.
And I've now got your birthday and Christmas presents on lock for the next couple of years.
Easy. I'm gonna get so many ice cream soldiers. Damn. So excited.
And what's
Gents, on the way out though, I want to ask you a little. Well, I just want to tell a feel-good story that happened yesterday. The Marauders Task Force Vietnam line was successfully Kickstart funded.
Ooh.
Are you oblivious of this story?
I am.
I don't know the story, but I know the toy line. Yeah.
Okay.
Give me the 4-in-1.
It was announced at Joe Fest, so they've had their month to fund. The funding closed, I think, yesterday. Yes, it was yesterday, as of recording this. What do you suppose their initial funding goal was?
I'm gonna say 20,000. I mean, to create a toy line, I can't imagine. Wait, I'm just throwing numbers out there. 20 to me sounds like a lot.
Yeah, I would imagine like between 40 and 100K. US.
Very good, Paul. Yeah, you were a little
Paul
bit warmer.
Is way more knowledgeable.
The initial goal was just under 65,000.
Interesting.
Wow.
How long do you suppose it took them to reach 65K?
Like first 2 weeks.
Paul?
Hopefully. I'm hoping it's close to Bobby Valler's speed. So let's say like the first 2 weeks.
They reached it within the first hour.
What?
Oh my god, that's insanely cool.
They blew past 65K to end up with a grand total of, and do you guys want to ballpark it? Like after a 30, I think it's a 30-day period.
Oh geez.
They did that in 100.
400?
In
400,000? I don't know.
Paul?
I'm trying to work that
trying to
brain.
Okay, I don't think you're going to make $65,000 every hour, okay? I think there are obviously a lot of early adopters.
I'm just trying to think, maybe they hit like 300K, maybe 400K.
I guess me and Paul are about the same, 300 to 400.
Yeah.
They hit a stretch goal of just over $500,000.
Yo!
Wow, dude, that's insane. That's cool.
$512,596 total.
That's crazy.
That Hasbro's not getting.
Well, I mean, I'd just like to say a hearty congratulations to John and his team. That's incredible. Well done. Speaks to the depth of this concept that he created. They have been delivering quality for over a decade now. Gosh, I think the first weapon sets I bought from Marauder must have been maybe 15 years ago. Anyways, look, the reputation that can't be bought. Like, people know that this is going to be an amazing product, and they threw $500,000 at it. So, yeah, man, we salute you. Well done, Marauder Inc.
And guys, if you want to understand the potential of Marauder Inc.'s figures as a GI Joe fan, don't go too much further than our JoeCon video from last year or from the year prior that Bart actually shot for us. And you can check out JoeCon, Joe Fest, sorry. And you can check out the Marauder table and check out all of the figures that are on the table, on the display, and they're all like facsimiles of G.I. Joe. Not all of them, but a lot of them. And you can see like modern era versions of those characters that you love that are done better than, in my opinion, are pulled off better than the Collectors Club for the most part. And I've seen a lot of wish lists asking for toys that were from the Collectors Club, and maybe that is the route you want to go to. And so please go and check out that video or go and check out Marauder's site. I think they even have some of those displayed even on there. So yeah, just to add to the awesomeness that is, Marauder Inc.
That is absolutely incredible. Congrats, Marauder. Congrats, guys. You did it.
More Rauder. More
Marauders.
And guys, while we're just sharing the love, I just want to say thank you to Casey Wheeler. Thank you for being a supporter. Thank you for joining the Berg Force.
Welcome, Casey. May you be with us forever.
So, man, thank you so much for your support. We love it and we appreciate it. And it's helping us grow. So that's really awesome. Thank you.
We will keep growing and growing.
Yay! And just a small reminder, we've got some cool merchandise. We've got, the Patreon, as I mentioned there. So you can check that all out in the links and the description below. So if you want to follow us or support us by buying the merch, you can do it there. Cool.
Heck yeah. So as we mentioned previously, this week we covered ourselves as well as Twitter and our fantastic Berg Force wishes. And join us next time when we're hopefully going to hit you with what people on Facebook and Instagram would like, as well as a brand new amazing topic that's going to knock your socks off.
And knock our socks off too, because we're not quite sure what it is yet.
It's going to be amazing, whatever it is.
That'd be epic, yeah.
We've been GI Joburg and we're all out of GI Joburg. Wait a minute, what show are we on?
211. Welcome.
Yo Joburg, everybody.
Yo Joe.
Berg.
Hey.
It gets old.
It never ever gets old. Yeah. They're good.
Yes.